Welcome in to another edition.
That was a fake. That was clearly a fake one for the record.
Blah.
Yeah.
Wasn't great. Wasn't great.
Wah,
That was Jimmy.
wah,
That was Jimmy
wah.
being Jimmy.
That was what?
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, they go from Jekyll to Hyde again. This is like last year's team. You don't know what you're gonna get from one game to the next, do you?
No, and you shouldn't. Keep you guessing.
Yes, you should, Sherrod. I want to know what the hell I'm getting myself into.
You do, but Jimmy, that's just it. You do. You actually know what you're getting into. This is exactly what you're getting into.
At least
Yeah.
they're not chucking shots up, you know. I don't know if this is just like last year. Just like last year.
No,
Not
I'm
yet.
just saying well, it is because you know how many games they lost to the Wizards last year. So in that sense, it's kind of like last year.
Yeah, they get
But-
to see them this weekend, which is good.
Little payback this weekend or what?
I don't know. I mean, it's one of these things like, what do you talk about here? Like, I mean, it's like, this is the
Trez.
problem. No, but I mean, this is the problem. You're going to go around and around. Like, when you have the team's just not good enough to survive bad either Jaylen or Jason games, you know, like, but when they
That's
had
it.
multiple, it's as simple as that. When they had multiple players who could get things done, you could have guys who had off nights. With this team, if either you need both of those guys to be playing at or near their best every night to have a chance, and when they don't, your chances are very small.
And the scary part,
yeah,
John, is
I
when
think
you
this
have
is that
other
game.
guys step up, they still can't win. Because I mean, Schroeder had a good game, Al had a good game, Time Lord, did a lot of good things out there, and yet they still couldn't get it done.
That's the problem. Is like, and that was my concern, and again, going back to like our preseason discussions and our predictions and X, Y, and Z, that was my thought is like, when everyone's looking at this team and saying, oh, there's more talent there, like, these aren't bad basketball players. Dennis Schroeder, Al Horford, these are all good basketball players. But the talent gap between the top two players and then the rest is pretty wide, where, those guys are kind of like sixth men caliber players.
Right.
Smart, Schroeder, Rob, whatever. None of these guys are like staples, guys you can turn to and count on. And I said that's Fournier, I think, was bridging that gap talent-wise. And when you lost him, then you really don't have a go-to guy, someone to carry it. I mean, right now it's Schroeder, and again, thank goodness for him, because for all his warts, at least he makes things happen, and he's aggressive, and he initiates offense on his own, and that's something most other players on this team can't do.
And you know what? Speaking of Schroeder, what did we all say when before the Celtics signed Schroeder? We were like, these guys might not even be a playoff team.
These guys might be outside of the 10 seed,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, the 10. Yeah, and now with
And
Schroeder, like, okay.
Schroeder salvaged that.
Yeah,
right.
they claw their way into that, one of those final playoff spots, and so far that's held true. I mean, can you imagine where they'd be without Schroeder? And they've still lost 3 games. They're 2-3. It's not like they're at the top of the East or anything, but we might be looking at even worse record here, or games that aren't as close as they are, because he has come on and done exactly what he was build on. Energy, the passing. He can kind of play with pretty much anybody. They love how he looks like when they got him out there with Al. He plays late in games. He does pretty much everything you could ask for. But again, and he's almost like that Fournier bridge, right? Because he's a player that is he a perennial all-star? No, but he's not your end of rotation guy either. He's a guy that you can really theoretically could be starting on probably majority of NBA teams. So great player to have on your team. But again, it's always going to come back to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. It's their team, 1A, 1B, however way you want to rank them. It doesn't even matter who's better than who. It just matters that they both need to be very, very good night in and night out.
Bobby, I was going to announce you like dramatically with like a Willis Reed moment, and you just popped yourself in the studio.
Oh, I thought you didn't see me. I was just sitting there.
And I'm getting ready to snatch the mic away from Jimmy, and so you just
wow.
rocking the ball.
Bobby took it upon himself to enter into the video.
He just
kick him out. You know what? Kick him out and bring him back.
He just bulldozed us. I was going to build it up. The Willis Reed. The trainers are working on him. He was going to come in.
Telepathic there.
I was going to go Flucast game or Flucast for him.
Who's in charge of this stream?
You are.
You could boot me at any moment.
Hold on. Josue's gonna do his thing because he's been waiting to get in there. But first, we did want to tell people once again, and we're not going full read here.
I
I'm
got
just
cut off, by
This
the
is
way.
good
but
for a
go
loss,
on.
though. This is good. Everyone, go to calm.com/garden.
Okay.
Right now.
I
Come
got
on.
cut off.
Do it.
I'm not calm.
Guys, stay
Jimmy,
calm.
calm down.
No, I'm not calm.
Calm
For
down.
every
The
loss,
worst
we're gonna
part
lead.
is,
We're
I
gonna
don't
lead
remember
with
what I
this
was saying.
ad.
The
Calm
worst
dot
part
com.
is,
Calm.com.
worst part is I can't even tell people what this company is about without getting killed here.
Calm.com/garden.
It is America's #1 sleep app, sleep and meditation. Okay, there's
You don't even
LeBron-
need to use it just for sleep. You can just use it to chill.
just to chill. Calm.com/garden, massive discount, 40% off. Get after it. Bobby Manning, Willis Reed, ladies and gentlemen, let him have it. Woo!
Coming
This
out of the
guy.
tunnel.
This guy,
Bobby, you look a little pale, man.
this guy's
Oh, wait,
banged.
always
That's
Sorry.
how Willis
My bad.
Reed looked when he was coming in.
This guy is banged up right now, and he came in here. He hasn't changed his name from Sherrod, but I'll give him a pass there. He just crashed into the room.
Yep, he just coming in hot.
Just crashed in, didn't change his name. Bobby, I'll get to you in a second.
He's also rifling through screens on his computer. I don't know what he's closing.
Josue, have at it.
All right, yeah. So no, what I was gonna say was, to Jimmy's point from like 5 minutes ago,
Thank you.
when he talked
Bring it
about
back.
before the Schroeder deal, the reason we were so worried is because we knew the rest of the teams in the Eastern Conference were catching up. Whether it was teams like the Washington Wizards, or maybe not catching up, but they're all getting better, right? So then now teams like the Washington Wizards and the Toronto Raptors and a handful of teams in the East, they can give the Celtics a loss on any given night because of their sheer talent. But none of these teams have 3 full-fledged all-stars, right? I mean, some of them have 1 or 2, but I mean, I don't think this is a matter of the Celtics need a solidified third option where this is our guy. I mean, we saw a little bit of that from Horford, a little bit of that from Schroeder, but to me, it's still that front court and playing the defense. Whether it's Trez getting those looks, and look, we got to credit the Wizards for their well-balanced attack, right? They have guys that can put the ball on the floor. They got shooters. They got guys in the front court that can play bully ball. But at the same time, I felt like the Celtics just let up at the wrong time, especially in the second half. And then they ended up playing catch up, and it was too little, too late.
Right out of the second half,
they finally got out to that big run and that offensive production that they really needed.
Josue, they came out flat, man.
Yeah.
That end of the second quarter was a disaster. Though.
End of the second quarter,
they hadn't had a lead
third.
since the first quarter. They finally grabbed it, but then
they grabbed an artificial lead thanks to the scorekeeper. Thanks to the scoreboard. It wasn't even real.
Technically, they were leading, right?
Washington went on an 8-2 run to blow the game open.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm calling Bobby the Schroeder intruder because I was going on about Schroeder and he completely blew up my spot. I like that. The Schroeder intruder. What's up, Bobby? Are you good, bro? You look like you're out in left field right now.
Yeah, Bobby's like that dude. When the dude shows up and then all the friends just start ragging on him, that he's in a bad mood for a little while. That's Bobby.
Bobby's got some technical difficulties, I think, in his head, but also on his computer screen.
We came at him swinging. We came at him. That was hot.
He's just coming in here like a, he's kind of like looking around and then he leaves.
He's almost like he's like, I didn't park here. It's like, no, dude, like we're on air right now, man. Figure it out.
I mean the itchy lot.
Leave Bobby alone.
Anyway,
he does it to himself.
I want to see what are the chat people.
Sherrod, why don't you? Sherrod, you're there. What the hell's going on over there tonight?
This was just a bizarre game because it's. You guys are right. I mean, they didn't come out with the kind of fire you thought that they would. I mean, other than the first play where Rob catches the lob, it just seemed the energy just kind of dramatically went down after that. And then when they made it interesting there in the fourth, they couldn't get over the hump. Jason Tatum couldn't make free throws. They couldn't get any defensive stops. I thought that really was low-key, the difference in the game. They couldn't stop anybody. I mean, Washington shot 51% from the field. You can't let a team come into your building and shoot that damn well from the ball. A lot of those shots were at the rim. Their interior defense, it leaves a lot to be desired. We knew it was going to be an issue, but damn, this is not good when you see teams just having their way at will. I mean, no disrespect to Montrez, but damn, he shouldn't have been that. It didn't get tough for him until
but disrespect.
Yeah. But I'm going to disrespect him anyway. It was way too easy. That was the easiest 25 points.
Rob's not enough of a Rob's not doing anything down there. He's not enough of a presence down there right now.
No. Well, what they were doing, which was smart, was they were creating switches. And again, this is to me the blessing and the burden of a guy like Schroeder. He does a really good job of attacking and being aggressive, but he is a liability on defense. And it's not because of effort, it's just physics. He's not physically capable of holding his own against a lot of these guards. I mean, you saw down the stretch there. Dinwiddie had his way with him on the block, and the help side came late. And there were multiple players who were able to exploit his lack of size and strength. And that's something that the Celtics, they got to figure out a way to compensate for that if they're going to be able to keep him on the floor and keep him being effective.
I mean, it's better than Kemba defensively. And
I would say he's better. He's better at, I think, just fighting through screens and stuff like that. But when guys are going to
stick him a little taller, he's peskier, you know.
But when he gets John, he becomes the mouse in the house on the block. I mean, Kemba puts a little more resistance. When
he's had all defensive votes in the past. I don't think he's a total liability. I think obviously he's, smaller. When you're playing when you're playing two guards out there, that's obviously going to be a little bit of a problem size-wise when he's out there with Marcus. It's not an
But him and Marcus are at least kind of dogs out there. They're not, like you said, they're not.
Yeah.
It's not like Kemba or, I don't know, name another undersized guard. I mean, I think they're like in your face. What they might lack in one category, they make up, I think, in a lot of like the toughness and the, sort of energy that they have going on out there. I like them both out there at the same time, but it just, again, wasn't enough, I guess, tonight. I mean,
well, I'm going to say this again because this is another problem, okay? Ime Udoka, just a minute ago, wasn't happy with the team's focus at shoot-around, carried over into tonight's game. He says, it's hard to explain this early in the season. I told them they were getting their asses kicked tonight if they played that way. So, again, we've got now the second time in the last 4 games the team just didn't have focus coming into a game.
But what does that even mean? Like,
Meaning,
what's
like,
an
they're just-
example of that? Like, I want to. What does he mean? Like, they're all like goofing off on the sideline. Like, what does that mean? Like,
whatever it is you're trying to do in a shoot around, you're trying to implement whatever strategies and talk about the team that you're facing a little bit tonight. And you want people at least alert and paying attention and focusing.
Right.
My guess is they were just friggin' all over the place and not into it or not paying attention or not really engaged. But
and the execution wasn't where it needed to be. I mean, that's typically what that stuff comes down to. The guys know what the players are. They know what they're supposed to do, but how are they capable of executing that? And if you have to keep doing shit over and over and over again, and they already know what they're supposed to do, but they're just not doing it, that's a lack of focus.
Right. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
and we saw that in the game. I mean, a lot of the buckets that Washington got were just simple mental breakdowns. And in free throw shooting is more mental than anything when you are a 7 foot, 300 pounder like Tatum. I mean, Tatum was 4 for 8, I think, from the line tonight.
Yeah, but there's problems everywhere. It's not. I mean, there's guys. There's still effort issues. You have guys not crashing the board. That stat was incredible. The Celtics didn't. That Gorman kept talking about in the broadcast. Celtics didn't have a frigging single bench player grab a rebound, period, until the very end of the third quarter, which is an insane stat. And then this thing that Bradley Beal, everyone's like, "Oh, Shaq did a fool. He missed a layup at the end of the half." That wasn't the story. The story was that not a single Celtic ran back on defense on that. That's what was missed there. They're sitting there like,
he had enough time to make 3 attempts.
They had enough time to make 3 attempts because everyone was like, "I'm all set." I mean, that stuff drives you crazy if you're a coach. And
they're making their way to the tunnel.
We're not even going to get into – I'll get into it a little. The thing before the game that's going to go under the radar, and I know commenters are going to go bananas and be like, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. Ime abandoning the captain thing 4 games in is –
I'm with you, John. It matters. It fucking matters.
That was sad. That really was sad.
Saddest thing. It's hilarious. He wanted so badly to do this. He wanted – people to be accountable. He wanted to create leaders. He wanted this to be a thing. It was important to him. And he's going around and everyone's like, I'm all set, man.
I'm good. Yeah, you can keep that.
Let's just keep doing what we do.
I picked up on that too. Because the second it was asked, he let out this sigh like
he's like,
I swear for a second. I swear. Rod, you were there for a second. I swear he's gonna let out a shit. Like
I was
that's
thinking
the last thing on my mind right now.
As soon as he let the sigh out, I was thinking like,
shit, like that. That's like problem number 20 for us. Like, I gotta knock out these other problems before we.
And that's essentially what he was saying. That look.
Yeah.
I thought that would be a really good thing, but
I thought it was gonna
we got
help.
bigger
Me
issues
too.
to worry about.
Apparently
than
not.
I like that. I love that idea.
It's just crazy. Like, I mean, you name a captain. If you're gonna name a captain, you name him before the season starts. Imagine you do a nice little thing in the locker room and blah blah blah, and you kind of go from there. Now it is kind of too late. It's like what are we even talking about anymore? And
Well, I don't know if
If
it's
you
too
want
late,
another-
Jimmy. I
you
don't know if
want
it's too
some-
late, but it's just funny because I think it's telling because it's like he's looking around like I don't even know who I would pick,
Yeah.
and
That's
that's
right,
not a
that's
good
what I
thing.
mean.
That was
That's
I
what I
don't
mean by
want
that.
any of these friggin' mopey losers to be my captain anymore. One of them missed a friggin' flight.
Right.
These other two guys are literally just
I'm not
pouting
impressed with
and
any of these
sulking.
kids.
Oh, so by the way, shots fired here already by Ime at Jaylen Brown. Asked about him, why he's some way, some night, some way, another. He said the difference between him some nights versus others is mind-boggling.
Ooh, damn.
That's from me,
Okay.
man.
Yeah.
Well, he's not wrong. And the thing is, we say that we're haters. When the coach says that, the coach can say that, and people are going to have to actually believe it.
Shots fired. That's a
I'm
real.
telling you, this is
That's
going
a
to be a
dig.
process, guys. I talked about this since game 1 against the Knicks. Like he's got to empower him as much as possible. He's got to put into him, some sort of confidence
Yeah,
that allows him to say, "Look, I'm going to take over and I'm going to do this now," or I'm going to be more demonstrative. But whatever the case may be, there's something that's stopping Jaylen at times.
This is like your favorite topic, Josue. So I want to bounce it back to you because for real,
You
like
saw my
what
ears
I do-
perk up, right?
No, but I mean, it goes back to it. It's like the Jaylen engaged versus not engaged, and us trying to like play, psych 101 behind the scenes, figuring out what's
Seriously.
Jaylen feeling tonight. Like why isn't he into it? And it is strange. And like I know a lot of times we land on the whole. Well, I think he kind of gets frustrated or taken out of the game when he's not involved in the game, and then. Part of that is that accountability thing, which is like, well, Marcus is shooting every friggin' time he gets it, and Jason hasn't looked my way in a while, so blah, blah, blah. So I'm just friggin' here. And then he kind of like, I don't know if he gets pissed, he pouts, he takes a few plays off, and then when he does get the ball, you see what happened tonight. Dribble, 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 head down, tunnel vision, nothing, brick, turnover, getting stripped, like just terrible, terrible stuff. Totally not in the flow of the game at all. Nothing he did tonight felt like it was in the flow of the game. He was completely disjointed effort.
Right.
I don't know, Sherrod, you're there. I don't know what it looked like to you.
Bad. I mean,
Bad, right?
shot selection I thought was bad.
He's not the best color man in the league for nothing, folks.
Just the way his overall attack of the game was just off. I mean, you didn't see the sense of urgency that you should come to expect from one of your top two players. And, Tatum had moments, where he was heavily engaged and other moments where he seemed to be MIA out there as well. You can't have that when your two best players are that inconsistent. Because even though Bradley Beal didn't shoot the ball well, he was clearly in attack mode from the beginning. If he wasn't taking his shots, he was trying to get others involved.
Right.
He never felt as if he was – and defensively, he came with his lots of deflections and steals. He made himself an impact player in this game, even though his numbers clearly weren't what he's accustomed to. And that's the disappointing about Jaylen and Tatum to a lesser extent, because it's not a talent issue. That is nothing. It has nothing to do with any of this.
But you
It's
know
about
what?
focusing.
That's how I read that comment too.
Yeah, and you know what? The players, Jaylen included, said they wanted Ime to be up front and be tough on them and to, I imagine,
Careful what you ask for.
treat them like adults. Yeah, exactly. Tell
Right.
them stuff that maybe they don't want to hear. And Ime knows better than anybody that how good Jaylen Brown can be. So of course he's going to say that the difference is mind-boggling because he's seen how good he's been, whether it's in a game, whether it's in practice. So I'm sure Ime hasn't said that to Jaylen Brown face to face. It's not like he's just talking to the media about his players and not having these same conversations with these players because he wants to get more out of them. He wants them to be more consistent.
And this
what
may
it's
be
all
his
about.
way of trying to do that, to just
Right.
basically out them for what their flaws are
But-
and see if
Yeah.
they're going to respond. Which
That's
I get that.
that worries me a little in the sense of I always view that as a coach's last resort, which is when you've tried to do it with honey, tried to do it with a little bit of discipline, tried to have the heart-to-hearts behind the scene,
I don't
team
think
meetings,
that's an
individual
image
meetings. But
bad.
usually you don't do the media thing until you're like, screw it. I'm going to just embarrass them publicly because I've tried everything else. You usually don't get there in game 5. You've usually run the gamut of all other motivational tactics.
That was like That was like Doc's.
I don't know. I mean,
last.
I don't
last
think that's
Oscar
Ime's
call.
style, though.
I didn't
think
hear
Ime
it,
is from
though.
a straight
We're-
no chaser school where it's like,
we're
look,
reading
if you suck, I'm going to tell you to your face you're not playing well. And when someone asks me about you, guess what? I'm going to tell them the same thing I've already told you. That's kind of how I see him.
And I didn't see it. I don't know how it sounded.
Yeah, but
and
also,
what
John, I think
else was involved in the quote.
the dynamic is a little different here because we're dealing with Jason Tatum, right? I feel like him bringing this up to the public, it matters now because if you bring it up early, it lets Jaylen know, like, hey, look, I've been trying to empower you from the beginning. Like, you know, I've been trying to put you on that same plateau that you don't feel like, you know, you're put on alongside Jason Tatum. Well, let's see it. You know, I'm having one-on-one with you. I thought coming out of a crucial timeout during the Charlotte game, we saw Ime sort of pull him to the side, sort of direct him a bit, but not in a like, you know, a teacher, listen to me type of way, but more of like, listen to me. I know you can do it. You know, I'm setting you up here. You know, I love seeing that. You know, again, I think that goes a long way for someone like Jaylen and his confidence.
Yeah. Horford says it. Horford at the podium too. We shouldn't even have to address effort, which means again he's in the same position he was in before, which is like, I don't know why it's going bad. It just is. Right. The Ime thing again. I could see Ime having said it kind of like it's mind-boggling, meaning like it is strange to see a guy like Jaylen have a cold game like this, knowing how good he can be, and might be not as big a shot across the bow of like you know. Addressing effort directly. That being said, again, I'd like to hear it. You know, I've seen it in print. A couple of people have kind of reacted to it on Twitter, but I haven't heard it yet. What Sherrod said earlier, I thought was very, was a really good point in terms of Beal having it, not having it. The thing is, you're getting the same thing consistently, you know, and I do think that that's a thing with superstars. The most reliable ones is you rely on the same game approach, which is like, this is what I do. I'm going to keep doing it. You know, there's some nights it's going to go in more than others, but I'm not just going to take plays off or let it affect me or sulk or just like get frustrated and just start firing away threes and just hope that it gets. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to go to work and I'm going to get what's mine because this is what I do. And I do think that Jaylen and Jason don't do that regularly enough because their bad games are very bad and it's out of character bad. It's not just like a bad shooting night where like I got great looks all night, they just didn't fall. It's kind of like they get into their own heads and the effort starts to lack and you know they start taking worse shots, they start playing more ISO, their defensive effort lags as well. So it is interesting that you do see that because again, they really need both these guys humming to win.
Yeah.
Look at it. We made it this far.
We
haven't even talked about Marcus, and people here.
There's a few things I want to talk about.
People were out for blood on Marcus. Well, Jimmy, you go next. Where do you want to take it?
No. Let's go Marcus first, because that's more important than what I'm just noticing other things that I want to mention, but Marcus for sure off the top.
I do think again, it's funny because like you have that's why you like Marcus game, and then like all the Marcus connoisseurs come out and be like, see, you know, that's part of the whole Marcus Smart experience, and we know he can't shoot, but his value transcends numbers and blah blah blah. And like, fine, he's the worst offensive point guard in the NBA. Find me another. Go.
It's early, John.
Period.
Sorry.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna have the answer right now, but I'm also not gonna argue it. I'm not gonna argue it.
Yeah, I don't.
Pat Beverly.
I have to dig for that, and I guess that's kind of the point. The fact that none of us can just say automatically he's better than this guy.
Right.
That's bad. I don't think he's the worst, but damn, right now I can't think of someone who's clearly worse than him at that position right now.
Offensively, that's the problem. Is like, look, Marcus Smart does 8 million things well when he gets to play that role, the jack of all trades, spark plug off the bench, blah, 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 positionless guy. In this role that we were all hoping he would thrive, you're actually now seeing, his limitations really come up because he's not an outstanding shooter. He's not great at attacking the rim. He's not a good finisher around the rim. He's obviously not a prolific scorer. Absolutely. Can he pass? Yes. He had a couple nice passes, some lobs. He's worked and certainly better suited to run the position than a lot of other people on the team. He's just not. It's just in this league with the point guards that you have and the talent that people putting out there at that position on a regular night and how they affect the game offensively. It's a huge place to not have someone even doing some of those things. It is what it is.
I think that.
It's.
I think the other. He's not a true point guard, and he's not hit. So you kind of have a player out there that's, yes, he's great defensively for you, and he does make some nice passes and things like that. But kind of wondering, like, okay, like who's running the show sometimes when it's him out there and Schroeder's out there, but you don't want Smart shooting the
You guys
ball,
think Cole
but he
Anthony's
still
better? You think-
shoots too much.
You think
But
Cole
that's
Anthony's
the.
better?
I don't know. Are we going down the whole
On
league?
every given night.
that doesn't
But I
sound
mean,
good.
Sherrod,
Like 30
what
seconds.
page are you on though? Like page 7, like you know what I mean? Like that kind of makes the point. Yeah, that kind of makes the point. It's like
I mean, it's
he's
almost
making 20
stupid to
he's
argue.
making
It's
20
hard to
million a
argue
year
the
and-
opposite, right? I mean, he's shooting 20%. You know, I mean, it's like he's just,
Right.
you know,
the
again,
point
it's
still
early.
stands either way. Yeah,
It's still early. It's still early.
It's not early. It's
still
a
early, but
it's a-
like this is how many
it's a
years
career.
into his
It's a-
yeah, right.
It's a
Early-
career of being a 36% field goal shooter. I mean, it's a career of bad shooting. But you were hoping all of the other things would come up. The playmaking role that we wanted to see more of
Right.
isn't fully happening yet. And that's the thing I'm willing to be patient on is he might evolve into the position more as time goes on and become more of a, you know, guy. But he's just, you know, who's making more plays. But I don't know. So far, not.
I thought this was a game, though, that they really needed to not lean on him to be a playmaker because dealing with Bradley Beal is a load. I mean, he's the best scorer.
And he worked today. Marcus worked his ass
And
off.
so he worked his ass off defensively, and that's why, I mean, he had 3 turnovers and only 3 assists, but defensively, he gave them a shot. It goes back to what we were saying about Tatum and Brown. You need them to be close to their best for this team to win. Because Marcus's role, I didn't think he did as great a job.
He's
as a
doing his
facilitator,
part.
but I thought he did a really good job defensively, and that's his calling card.
Tonight he did.
He did. And so, yeah, he didn't obviously get things done at the offensive end, but neither
Bobby,
did
how
Tatum.
long have you been there?
Forever. You yelled at me the first time. Now I'm sitting here again.
Why didn't you?
I've been
He's a little bit more spry this time. I don't know what. Maybe Bobby just needed a 20-second timeout.
No, I was just
No,
busting
he
your
did.
chops.
No, he did. Oh, to Bobby's point, he did what you asked. He sat there, didn't let himself in.
I know, but he didn't text me that he was in the room. I didn't even see him.
sometimes when
sent
I'm
the
down
text.
there, I do this, and I think, can you see me when I'm doing stuff like that, John? Can you did you notice
It
it?
depends if the screen is high or not. Bobby, you jump in. We've been going for a bit.
I don't even know what to say. It's bad, and you're getting to the point where you wonder, is this team
Flucast.
gonna need a shakeup mid-season, like a major shakeup? You know, a guy like Smart, maybe even a guy like one of the Jays moving at this point. Like,
Bobby.
I mean, these pieces.
Bobby, no.
What happened to yesterday's game, Bob? We're a little happier after yesterday's
I
game.
like this.
I mean,
I like
they've
this.
Or
done the
Monday,
coach.
excuse me.
They've done the coach. They've dumped Kemba. They've done pretty much everything except address the core of the roster, and it's still not working. They're thin. I still think losing Fournier was such a massive mistake, and we're seeing it now with how useless the secondary wings are. I mean, none of these wings can
I said
play.
it earlier
You're playing
too.
Jabari
I really
Parker.
think that's what kills you.
Jabari Parker's your third wing right now. Your
What do you
third
think
most
about Pritchard
effective.
getting a healthy DNP?
You know, Grant's out there again, -5 net rating so far.
A piece of Jimmy and Bobby dies every night. Neesmith and Pritchard go DNP.
And that's
So this is what I
frustrating,
I'm
too.
surprised Bobby's not upset about it.
I wanted to talk about
Yeah,
this too, and I'm
everything's a
glad
little
that
frustrating
Bobby's
right now.
here. There's already rotation questions because we're having the same things that happened
Yeah.
similarly with Brad last year, where he got completely away from the quote-unquote kids, the young guys. Now, I know Romeo's out with an injury. It must be a day ending in Y, but no minutes for Pritchard, no minutes for Neesmith. You've got, and we haven't talked about it, but we said this was going to happen. Josh Richardson needs to sit. He needs to
He's
sit.
been so bad.
He needs to sit
Minus
like outside
17
of
net rating.
outside of the arena somewhere, like on a couch, and not play
He's
any
useless.
games.
Stop. He
Doesn't bring shooting, doesn't
listen,
bring playmaking. He's been bad.
Yeah,
as
He
a
was bad this game, but it's not. It's not.
He's
like
very just there. He's very much just there. And I'd rather have Neesmith or Pritchard or Romeo when he's healthy or any of those other guys. Give me those guys. Give me freaking Hernan Gomez out there.
Yeah, my God.
Look what we're doing.
Fernando.
This
Let's
is
give
what we're
Fernando
doing.
some time.
This is
Well,
exactly
we're
where
grasping at straws now
this
because
is exactly
we don't know
where
what's
we were
gonna
last year.
I know.
You see some guy play and you're like, play someone else. Then they play to someone else and you're like, oh, go back to the other
Go back
guy.
to the other guy.
The Parker thing, yeah. No, and they've tried Neesmith and
least
Pritchard
Parker's
at
getting a
certain
little
points
burn.
through the early portion of the season. It hasn't gone well. I mean, they've
Neither of
tried
those
different
guys
things.
are DNP-CD candidates at this point. They shouldn't be DNP-CD like
Yeah,
every
but you
game.
understand what they're trying to do in terms of solidifying the rotation, not
He
hitting
said he
the
wants a
emergency
short
button,
rotation.
everything. Yeah, everything.
Well, they did basically 6.5, 6 good minutes tonight for 6 players with pretty heavy minutes, and they had 2 guys with 15 each, and then Parker had 9.
And then, I go back to the Horford thing. Limited tonight again in his minutes. When he was out there, he made a big impact and another outstanding game. Are you going to be able to just hammer this guy with 35, 40 minutes in a game? Like, it seems like they're going to need to because, again, he does everything for this team. Like, you take him out, and just the gap between him and a Richardson, him and a Grant, some of those bench wings is just massive. And you don't want to start him. I know
he makes everyone on that team better when he's out.
We've had our gripes with double big, but there's no one out there on the wings that does anything better than Horford does right now.
Well, it's also a matter of misuse right now, and this is another problem.
Horford's been great. It's always going to come.
Yeah. No. But look, for example, Rob is out there and he's not being used for anything that he does well, which is he's probably your best passer in a half court set, and he's not getting the ball high, and there's not people cutting off of him at all. Right. So there's nothing. There's no movement and no action. None.
We'll love to see them use him more how Jokic is used in Denver.
Yeah,
at the high
exactly. At the high, exactly. And they don't do it at all. It's literally it's one of his best skills. It's probably his best offensive skill, his passing. And they don't use it. And then the other one is the rolling. And they literally almost never do it. So, Rob is a complete waste of space on the offensive end out there.
And I feel like that's a point guard issue right now.
And that's part of it. And then you've got, you've got Marcus there as well. You've got some weird stuff happening that isn't really there. You're not playing to strengths right now. So it is bizarre. It's bizarre offensively. I'm not, again, we're still trying to figure out I don't know, what is their mindset? What is their offensive mentality?
What's their biggest issue? How about that? What's their biggest issue? We can rank the issues. We should rank their biggest issues. What would be your first one?
For me, it's straight talent. Like I said, if the Jays don't get 60, and someone just put in the comments, but I agree, Jays don't get 60, you're offensively challenged the rest of the way. It's hard to find buckets because there's not enough shot creators, and there's not enough people that are just kind of doing enough on offense there. And there's just certainly not enough shooters on this team. So that's where it starts for me.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
The roster is just.
And then everything else is an effort issue. Like I said, defense is garbage.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Defense is a choice.
The two go hand in hand.
And that's why you can't look at Smart, like you guys said before I hopped on here, because
Smart's the only guy in plus territory tonight. We're killing Marcus. We're digging in on Marcus because of how he is as offensive point guard. He played tonight, man. At least he's out there giving it.
Oh, that stop when they double deal and force the shot clock violation was so
yeah, that's why I wouldn't trash him tonight.
His effort wasn't an issue at all.
No, he just didn't do a great job on offense. When you start going down the roster, it was not like he was in a class by himself in that regard.
And I wonder what they can do. I know they call the high screen to get him a 3-point look, and he just keeps taking threes. He's taking more threes a game than ever. Like, do you just shut down the threes a little bit? Try to get some post ups. Try to get him going downhill. There's got to be some way to unlock a little bit with him, because launching threes right now the way he is not the answer. Teams are funneling the ball to him in their actions to get him to shoot those shots, and he just keeps taking them, and it's been so bad. He's not even close.
We'd love to see him attack the rim more and just look for Rob with the lob.
Yeah,
I would love to see more of that.
Yeah. You know what though? This wasn't when you look at Marcus's stat line. Yeah, he didn't shoot well, but he also didn't shoot high volume, which is what a lot of people get on him for.
He just didn't do enough else offensively.
He
just didn't have a good game offensively.
But isn't that what the team isn't supposed to be relying on him to do a lot else offensively?
Right.
I don't know where that feedback's coming in, but is it me?
From a creation role, they probably need a lot more from him. Yeah.
Creation role, yes.
But that's not who he is.
More of a true. That's the problem. More of a true point guard. If you're not going to take the high volume shooting, which we don't want, you got to make up for it you got to affect the game on offense in other ways. That being said, again, this could go back to Brown not really being close to himself. And Bobby, I don't know if Bobby wasn't on here when we talked.
Bobby's got the bad feedback. I just muted him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
John had those eyes. I was like, he's on the
That
program.
explains
Bobby,
that.
sorry. It's like there's a helicopter landing behind you.
What I was gonna say, if Bobby had a take or interpretation on what Ime's comment was about Jaylen Brown's, hot and cold. I don't know if you saw the quote, Bobby. Were you watching it or were you listening at the time?
Sorry,
Oh,
I
it's
muted him.
mind-boggling how
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown can go from one to the other.
Just digging into them, yeah. That the effort. I mean, he said something to the effect of he saw them moving
Brown's bad.
around and just told them they were going to get their ass kicked tonight if they came and played that way in the game, and they essentially did.
This is what kills me. This is where you don't give them any rope, any leeway here. They quit on Brad.
What's up with the effort?
But that's the thing. They quit on Brad. So you say, look, it happens. For whatever reason, they've tuned him out. That happens sometimes. Time for a change. Time for somebody that the players want in there that is more their guy. So you give them say, and they bring in their guy. You're absolutely cutting his legs out if you go out there and don't try. This only works. You two games out of 5, you literally don't show up at all. Like, you can't do that to him. Like, it is incumbent on you to make it
at
work.
Home.
That's why the captain thing pisses me off too. Like, just go with what the guy wants to do here. Like, this
recording in progress.
You guys have to make it work. What Bobby's doing? He's like recording movies on his VHS.
He's recording us right now. He's recording us. Everybody, he's recording us. It's illegal.
This is illegal. You can't do it. You're killing. What's Ime going to do now? Is he going to friggin' start calling people out? Is he going to bench people? I mean, look, all game long, how much of this was there? They complained, whatever it was that they kept to themselves for 4 games, they let it all out tonight.
That's why.
And he doesn't crack down the way you thought he would.
All game long, they complained. Tatum got a tech. This was so easy. Tatum got a tech with 55 seconds left to go in the half. Bench him for 55 seconds just to make a point. He didn't even do that.
See, that's the thing, though. That's what happens, John. When you go out and say, "Look, I benched Grant because he complained to referees." It's like, well, now you set this.
He suspended Smart in the preseason,
and it's in the preseason. It's like, wait a minute. You don't think that people like tempers aren't going to flare during the regular season when the games really matter, and you want to send that message now? Like, I just thought that was a little too much. If you want to do that in house, that's fine. But the fact that he shared it, now it's like every single time one of these guys flip out, shit. Al Horford's the last one to flip out. He couldn't control his emotions, and he had a good point.
Oh well, he did. He had good reason to on that one. But
yeah, but do you hear what I'm saying, Bobby? We talked about this a couple of nights ago. I told you a couple of nights. I'm like, there's gonna come a moment where Tatum, Brown, Al Horford was tonight. They're going to lose it because of the heat of the moment. You can't control that. You can't try to deter that and then send a message. What are you going to bench Al in that spot? It's I don't know. I thought that whole thing was it was sort of a win-lose, for Ime.
Yeah. There's only so much he can do. He can't be benching guys every single night. He can't be taking out all the starters when things go wrong. I do think there could be a greater degree of trying out some of the lower bench guys when things really go off the rails.
Anyone who has children knows you can't do that. You can't be an empty threader. They'll sniff you out, and once, I swear to God, I'm going to cancel that play date. And then you don't do it, and then it's over. Then they've got you. They know this at 6 years old. These are grown men. You think they don't know? They're like, nah, apparently I can't get away with it.
Yeah, it's startling to me that he hasn't followed through on that.
He didn't do that.
Bringing back some bad memories, John. I try to forget about that stuff.
I'm out of moves with my 9-year-old. I'm completely out of moves. I got nothing left.
Adamant about that. That's another thing. Like, he was adamant about the captain thing.
Can't be an empty threader.
And then it just,
I like that.
My buddy's kid puts him in timeout now. My buddy's kid puts him in timeout now, actually, because he said it to her. It's game over now. Like, now he's going in time. Like,
it's a wrap. He's done. Your friend is done, Jimmy.
Yeah, he's done. He knows it too.
Put him in a dumpster. He's done.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe the effort thing. It's like the subconscious,
But
like
this is
trying
what-
out the coach. Like how tough is this guy? I mean,
At some
I don't
point,
think
one of
they're
your players
intentionally
is gonna
going out
push
there
back.
and not
They're
giving it
going to
100.
push back, and that's when it gets really interesting.
So here, let me ask you
Pushback,
this.
right.
This is what drives me nuts. At times during the year last year, we would have shows and we would say they didn't play well. And then in the post game, every single player would say we didn't play with enough effort. But it felt like we meant everyone else. It didn't
Yeah.
feel like we was
Yeah.
me. And so everyone's saying we, like looking around and like
But no one's taking accountability.
no one's taking accountability. It kind of goes back to the captain thing. It's like
Right.
that's the thing is
No one wants
there's
that
a lot of
C.
there's a lot of we, but like when you're saying we, you really mean everyone. But you're saying we,
Right.
thinking you're being the bigger person to include yourself in it, but you're not meaning it. And everyone says we, and then nobody fixes it
You're
because no one takes
distancing
it.
yourself. Yeah.
It's unreal. But it's the
And
same
Especially,
thing as last
especially
year.
when they would say it after they followed up with something good that they did during the game. They're like, I did this, I did that. We need to do a better job of doing this.
Yeah.
We need to do. It's like
We-
you're distancing yourself.
We
from,
didn't come out
from the
strong
bad
today.
stuff.
But when I say we, I mean they didn't
Right,
come
right.
out strong tonight. We all need. I'm afraid we all need a little bit of this. So I'm gonna let everybody
We
in.
all need this.
We all need what I'm here to talk about right now, which is calm. We lost Bobby again.
Bobby's
Bobby
like,
wants
I'm not.
Bobby
I'm
wants
not.
nothing to do with calm.
Yeah, he's.
Bobby said
he's-
commercial. All right, I'm out.
He's not calm.
We'll tell you people about it.
It's the best.
Calm.com/garden.
Okay, you want to know what makes LeBron James sleep at night? I don't actually, but
I don't either.
but
Reading,
Anyway.
right? He's a big reader.
But sleep is his superpower. Okay, so that's not a bad thing. Calm is the #1 app for sleep and meditation. It's teamed up with LeBron to help you activate the power of sleep. When it comes to athletes, which none of us are or really ever were, but I think it works for regular people too.
Once upon a time, John.
I can ball.
Once upon a time, we played a little. Focus
John
on
could
physical
dunk.
fitness. There's another
Mentioned for
side.
the 70th
can't.
time on this show.
And I
Just as
definitely
important as
cannot.
mental fitness is sleep. To help train your brain to sleep better, reduce stress, perform your best. It's a critical part of your mental fitness routine. Get good sleep, find time to rest. One of the most valuable things you can do for your body or your mind. So how are you going to do it? You're going to go check this out. Calm.com/garden, 40% off a
Gotta
premium
get you
subscription.
8 hours.
And again, we talk about this stuff all the time. 40% is a big deal. We never get promos like this. It's a big chunk here. This is a big time company that's really going for it here, and this is a big push they're making, and 40% off is a pretty good deal. So if you're interested in this sort of stuff, check it out. We're all taking part in a trial right now. Yep.
I've got it right here. I used it last night. I did a soundscape. It was like rain, roof or something.
Oh, that's a
Had
good
me
one.
out like a light. Slept like a baby. I looked like I was so asleep. I looked like the Celtics tonight in the second quarter. That's how sleepy I was.
That's the thing is, there might be the
Yeah,
Celtics
Jimmy.
might be too calm.
They might have to. They might be using the garden report code.
When can it be right? They watch the Garden Report, get really mad, and then they go to the Calm app, and it chills them out, and then they kind of
Chills 'em
go.
out. But
And
there's
then-
some lasting effects. Yeah.
Then they play poorly because they're too calm,
right.
and then we get them riled up again, so they have
Yeah.
to use
Tatum
Calm.
and Brown. They should probably not use this Calm app.
Then they
don't
have to
need-
use Calm again. But anyway, check it out. Like I said, we've all downloaded it, and we're taking part in a trial right now, and it's pretty cool stuff. So check it out. Calm.com/garden, 40% off. Bobby, I'll send it back to you, my man.
Buy
What
it
else
for
is on
your.
your
Hey, how about
mind?
this? Buy it for your significant others, guys, girls. If your
Yeah.
significant others like freaking out, just buy it for them.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll help you. It'll help them, and
That'll
your
land well.
relationship out. Yeah.
Hey, honey, I think you need to chill
No, but you
out.
gotta word it. You gotta word it the right way. You gotta be like,
Happy
hey,
birthday.
hey, you should check out this
Here's
app that I've been using.
and a gym membership.
You know what you need?
Yeah.
Watchers,
You need to calm down.
Yeah. There's got to be a way to get
Get
it.
some
get
diet
that point
supplements in your
across.
diet. How's that?
Then
Oh,
the
man.
Schroeder just talked. We need to be better at shoot-arounds. I don't know what happened at the shoot-around, but
Another we.
what was everybody
Yeah,
just
what?
like
That's what
on
I
their
asked you
back
guys.
at shoot-around?
That's what I asked John earlier. I was like,
It's
what
shining,
does
it's
that
shining a
even
light
mean?
on this thing. The right, I don't know. It's my background.
What goes on at these shoot-arounds?
What are the common
It's been like the
denominators
sprinter shuffle.
in these groups of we that we aren't doing well enough year over year over year? We're running out of people. The circle is shrinking. Okay, the people who are here from Kyrie, we're not getting it. We're not focused. Into last year, we're not putting in our effort. We're not.
Think of
Blah
how many
blah blah.
people have left, including
What's
Brad.
left? There's like 3 people. Okay.
And we know Smart's bringing it. So
Yeah.
They got Ainge fired.
yeah, I
We're
mean the
run-
engine was not there with Jaylen tonight. Jason was great. He kept
We're
them in
running
the
out of
game,
people
and
here.
Jason pretty much gave them every basket they needed to keep this close. Jaylen was so off, just completely out of the flow of things. Really, since opening night, he hasn't been
Is it
well
the knee?
involved in the offense. It could
Didn't-
be.
I'm
Maybe some COVID
I'm not
fog.
gonna let him off the hook with the knee thing.
But yeah,
'cause
he's got to get involved.
Yeah, he's
What do you
moving
think,
well
Sherrod?
enough. It's not a health thing. It's definitely not a
No.
health thing.
I'm not letting him off the hook. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell it could be. I mean, is it letting him off the hook? The guy just missed a game with his knee injury, a few days ago. Now all of a sudden he's supposed to be expected to go 100%. I don't know. That's why I was concerned prior, because I don't know what the reason could be for a performance like this. You can't tell me that he just woke up on the wrong side of the bed today and just didn't feel like playing the way he typically plays. That doesn't seem right.
I don't know.
I
Like
mean,
said,
everybody's human, so I mean, I guess it's possible, but
there's COVID, there's breathing, there's a wrist, and there's a knee.
Right.
There's plenty of reasons for him not to be physically at his peak. So it's really hard to know.
Yeah, but it's approach too. Once he got on the ball late there and got into the lane for a couple of makes in a row, like Ime was talking, they had to call that kind of stuff for him. He's got to find ways like he did against the Knicks there
Yeah.
to kind of initiate offense out of the break, get the ball himself on the boards, and get stops. He was so bad defensively in this one, losing guys off the ball again like he did much of last year.
Yeah.
And, not giving them the
Really
ability to get their
lackadaisical.
break going. Yeah.
Yeah, he
he
wasn't
was-
alone though defensively. I mean, they all as a group were not very good. I mean, Washington is not an elite shooting team, and yet they shot better than 51%. That should not happen, particularly at home.
The Harrell
No.
stuff too. How frustrating was that? The way he took it to them.
That was 25 easy for him.
Yeah.
that's a guy who always plays with energy and effort
Yeah.
wherever he plays. Because
But he's
knows
a
not-
terrible defender. You should be able to
Horrible
take him.
defender.
I
Once
know.
Gafford got hurt,
Yeah, I
they
guess
should have
that's
been
true.
able to get him out of the game,
Get
attacking
to the
him in the
paint.
pick and roll
Yeah, but
easily.
Tatum missed like 7 layups. So I mean,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's not helping.
That was a big difference in this game too. The shots at the rim. Celtics side, bottom 5 shots at the rim. They don't get there. They finish okay statistically until the night, but that's a big sore spot for them. And they're low in free throws still too. And what's
Yeah.
up with Tatum at the free throw line? 72%, 2 of 5 tonight.
Focus.
Yeah, well, he's getting there more often. So
Is he?
compared to last year in a short sample size,
Not compared
maybe,
to the playoffs.
not the
Yeah,
playoff, but the
playoffs
regular
he
season.
lived there.
Who's this?
Tatum.
Tatum.
Oh, I never heard of him. No, I actually didn't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at 8, 7, 4, 1, 5. Not enough. He should be averaging 10. Not enough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not enough. Sorry.
Especially after what we saw in preseason.
Well, that's
and
what we
the first
said
couple of
would
games. But
Take him to that next
Yeah.
echelon of points, right? Didn't somebody's prediction was that he was going to lead the league in points this year? Was that Sherrod or
Yeah, that was
Josue?
me.
Yeah. Well, not if he's going on the line once or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 times.
Yeah, I mean, he's where he's been. I mean, last year the problem with Tatum is he went backwards last year. Last year he shot fewer free throws than the year before, and the year before that. So like, he's taking fewer shots at the rim. So
But
even
10 in the
improvement-
playoffs. That's
an
when he really got
improvement over
going.
last year is going to put him back to where he was 3 years ago. That's the whole thing, is he keeps getting further and further away from it. And again, spoiler alert, the thing he likes to do best, he's not particularly good at. He is not a good isolation scorer for the amount that he does. He's close to the bottom of the league in
We
isolation.
talked about that earlier too. They're doing more
That's
of them
a real
this year.
thing. The thing that he favors, that he thinks is the thing he wants to do and that he wants to default to, he's not actually good at it. Like, he's not terrific in isolation. So he has to get to the rim. And then he has to finish better around the rim. And he has to play through contact. And he has to get to the line. Like this is, with Marcus, it's like, don't take 10 threes. With Jason, it's you've got to get to the lane. Like you cannot do the other thing.
And Jason doesn't look comfortable running the pick and roll like he did a couple of seasons ago in the playoffs, where he really had that big boom stretch for them, with the 25, 10, and 5. If he's not going to get Rob going in that regard on the ball, and he does for stretches, and he can't just get the offense moving in that regard, there's really no other option in terms of guys on this team that can run that effectively, and they've been so bad in that regard this year. The isolation numbers are terrible. I do feel like they get good movement off the ball, but again, they're lacking that guy outside Schroeder, who I think's done a pretty good job in stepping into that role on the fly, of just finding guys, getting downhill, getting the spots on the floor, and creating for others out of there. Schroeder's really, in so many ways, saved this team from an even worse start.
Yeah.
He's picked up scoring, defensive, and facilitating responsibilities.
That's where Jimmy started the show with. I mean, no joke. Like that's where we went right out of the gate. Like,
and the problem is he's not coming back after this year. So what are you really building there?
It's a good point too.
Bridge.
Well,
You're just trying to create a bridge to next year.
Yeah.
Let's get through this year.
Well, he showed
what the aim of this year can be.
He shows you what you're missing too.
Yep.
Or what works and what doesn't in the style of player that you really do need. So, yeah, he gonna get paid. He ain't gonna fumble the next bag, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're out of things to bash, I think.
Washington again up next.
Washington again. We've got a couple days off. We could use it. Bobby and I are on the shelf with a little bit of a under the weather situation.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
No Garden tonight.
Yeah.
Go get tested.
Oh, I get tested all the time.
That touchy subject, my bad. As soon as I said it,
No. I have to for school.
Yeah.
Automatic.
Me and John are probably the most tested men in New England.
No, you have to, right? So
Parent life.
No. It's just we're both for at BU and Emerson. We're professors.
Somehow these guys are professors.
My key card won't let me in if I don't have a.
I forget you two mold young minds.
Shaping the minds of our youth. Can you believe that? Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I know, scary.
If I walk in
a John class,
I walk into class and I see Zannis, I'm like, this is all right. I'm gonna take a seat. I'm gonna head out.
I would flat out ask for my money back.
And it's a lot at Emerson.
I would flat out, if I was those kids, I would flat out ask for a refund.
Totally.
Or their parents. The kids might be like, this is funny.
Kids like,
you must be the TA. Where's the teacher? Kind of old to be a TA.
Nah, John, you're the class that the entire baseball team ends up enrolling in because, like, take
I
this
literally
guy's
have
class.
the entire baseball team in my class.
Yeah, I believe it. Like I honestly
7 of them.
I honestly believe it. Word travels quickly. Like, you gotta take this guy's class.
They're looking through the professor notes. Zannis, where's Jay Zannis?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Well,
what time
the highlight of the class is Sherrod. Sherrod talks to the students a couple times, so that's always good.
At least they show up for that one.
Nick comes in there. It's great. It's fun.
Does Sherrod bring?
My favorite was I had the advisor that would give me the heads up, like, this guy. You should be good with that class. Pick that one. He knew which professors were the easier ones.
I need to balance out my schedule here. What's an easy one? You don't know the right people to ask.
Yeah.
We should do a live show from one of your classes, John. Assuming it's empty.
I've thought about that. Yeah.
What's the day of your class? You got the Friday morning class that nobody shows up to?
No, it's a night class. It's a night class.
Oh, don't crash this class.
Anyway, we do want to tell people once again about Calm, so please check it out.
We're gonna talk about Calm again.
Last time, because we're gonna wrap it.
I love talking about Calm.
Just go get some. 40%
go get some. Just go get some.
Calm.com/garden. Check it out.
Calm.com. Calm.com/garden.
I'm curious what else you guys think.
They got some stories too in there.
Yeah.
Like bedtime stories. Have you ever been told a bedtime story?
I'm not crazy about the bedtime stories though.
I'm not really
Yeah, I
either,
don't know
but
if I
they
would use
do
that
have
word.
them. They do have them as an option if you're into
They
that
do.
sort of thing.
I like
Yeah.
the different sounds and
Guys,
music.
also, we want to tell people at home we are talking about doing some more. We're talking about doing some more chats with you guys, so we are going to open that up at some point or another. We haven't done it in a bit, but definitely something we are interested in. So we are going to do that as well. And Jimmy, what do you got?
That would be cool. You know what else they have? Bedtime. They do that bedtime. But say like you're putting your kid to bed and you just don't have it in you tonight to tell a story. You just hit that little play button, turn up the volume, and boom, your kid's gonna be asleep in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you can catch the end of our show.
Yeah, and check that out. We are going to wrap it, like I said, under the weather a tad. So we're going to hopefully be full health on Saturday when we come back for a Washington game, and then everyone's going to try in the game, right?
There we go.
We're going to
All
try.
we can ask for is just to try.
Yeah, and like I said, whether it's a green room or a
And I bet
Twitter
we'll see
Spaces,
Romeo too.
we
finally.
are gonna start talking to you guys again. So we're looking forward to that.
Nice. Let's
At
do
some
it.
point
And
or
we'll
another,
bring
we're
it.
gonna,
We'll promise to bring it in our shoot around prior to our show because we always bring it in our shoot around.
we bring the good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, also, the home opener. Shout out to Crystal, I believe. Not mistaken, Crystal.
Crystal, what's up?
She said what up to me. As soon as I put my mask down, I'm talking to Max, and she came over, and I told her shout her out. So, Crystal, I appreciate the support. Appreciate you watching. And she said that all of us are hilarious. You know the usual stuff.
Bro, you get the
But
digits?
Crystal, we appreciate that.
I was waiting for Jimmy to chime in. Jimmy, repeat your question because
You get the digits or what?
Oh, come on, Jimmy.
Why? I just didn't know if you sealed the deal, but it's okay.
Man, it was
If it was me, if it was me, it would have been different.
You can't just lead off with that. I
This
guess
is Jimmy, no
would. Jimmy
morals.
would.
Yeah.
Jimmy would be like, I appreciate the support. So you
Just
say
just to keep in touch. That's all. Sorry for keeping in touch.
Jimmy would drop that line like 2 minutes into the conversation. So you see anybody or? No?
You want to keep in touch?
Yeah.
Oh man!
All right, people. com.com/garden.
Yes.
Check it out. Support our sponsors, please. It helps, guys. Honestly, it's a big deal. And there's no reason to not check this out. So please do. Next Garden Report on Saturday. And we've got Patriots on Sunday, even though it's Halloween. We'll have some post-game stuff over there as well. Sherrod, you got anything coming up on your show?
let's see. Now we're just gonna look back or look. Just look at these damn games. We just did one the other day. Just
Damn games.
looking ahead to this Washington.
Yeah. Did we lose him?
He's disgusted. He's disgusted by the team.
You made him open up his
think we
whole
did
Hold the
lose.
plug at the
man.
garden.
You did.
We might have lost him.
think-
All right, we're gonna
I
wrap it,
think he
guys.
just-
We out. Oh,
Rosen.
I don't have anything
Good
coming
night, all.
up, just in case you guys are wondering.
Good. Good night,
real
all.
quick. Paul Pierce interview. CLNS Media. You already know on YouTube. Check it out.
Oh yeah, if you haven't checked it out, Paul Pierce with Max,
Oh,
it's
hell
up
yeah.
there. We're putting out more and more segments throughout the week, but the full interview is on YouTube if you want to check it out. Really fun. You can tell
Incredible
how
interview.
Awesome interview.
you can tell how much they
Awesome
like one
interview.
another. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a
think
ton of
about
fun.
it. This is for people who don't know. This is less than 24 hours after it was official. Paul Pierce learned that he was on the top 75 players list. So it's pretty cool to see.
That's
him,
right.
Still kind of glowing off of that, and those two going back and forth, man. Trust me, it's must see TV. It's hilarious. Really
Yeah,
good.
it is good. You should check that out for sure.
We got to get Max on a show soon, especially with the way things are going. He might be fun to talk to about.
I know if he ever gets an off
everything.
day, one of these nights,
That's
You might
true.
have the idea of why they're not
we got
trying.
him back on the road again, man. We'll see though.
Max could
Yeah.
probably give us some shoot around scoops.
Yeah,
He's probably in the building.
Max has
Yeah. What's funny is we're still
his
waiting
fingers
for
on the
like
pulse.
the real story. Like we don't have the real Kyrie story. We don't have the real what went down with Brad, and Danny story. Like, and right now we're trying to figure out like what is wrong with these guys. So I don't know what it is.
I'm hearing strippers were at the shoot around.
Hey,
Don't even start that rumor
We don't do that.
because
We don't
you
do
know
kidding, I
that
was kidding.
storyline at some point, man. Maybe not the Celtics, but some NBA team.
Yeah, that's gonna come out someday.
The famous shoot around, the infamous.
Before the media was what it was today, you could probably get away with stuff like that, but you can't.
no, that's like some like Ricky Davis sort of shit back in the day.
yeah.
He was-
IG, right?
He was legendary. Legendary. Anyway,
Really?
yeah. Good night, all. We're gonna wrap it. We'll see you
I
guys.
want to hear the
Good
Ricky
night.
D stories.
Off the stream later, guys.